I apologize if this video is put up too rapidly after the last video I did. I'm hesitant to do that because I know that once a video replaces the other video doesn't get watched, and somehow I don't think it got as many views as it should have, but that's an ego thing. But the current events in the news are such that I feel I should post another video and tell you that I'm confused. When I stopped broadcasting and did substitute teaching to pay the taxes and the bills, there was a time there where it entered my mind that maybe I needed something that was more steady than this substitute stuff. So I started to drive a school bus. And as I watched the situation with the economy unfolding on television, it reminded me of an event that occurred on the school bus when I first started driving it. Perhaps I think the second year that I was doing it. I've, in my lifetime, very seldom dealt with small children. For some reason, I don't think I do well with small children. I don't understand them. I raised kids that were old enough to be self-contained the day they walked into the house, and I was their guardian. They never, to me, were little kids like caterpillars crawling around on the floor. It was the first day of school, and on this particular bus I was driving, there were first graders and kindergarten students intermingled with some other elementary kids. I remember looking out the door and seeing a teacher pointing at a little boy. And the little boy was looking at me with kind of a strange look. And the teacher said, "Do you have one that looks like this?" Well, these were twins, and they'd been separated. One was on my bus, and one was on someone else's bus. So I looked back at the kids that had boarded the bus. They were new to me. I'd never seen them before, and sure enough, there was one identical to the one she was holding. So I looked at the papers, and that kid and his brother were supposed to be on my bus. So I asked the identical twin to come up by me, and I put my finger like this over the kid's head. And the little kid standing out there with the teacher saw me standing there going like that. And he screamed, "He's got my brother!" You see, the little boy didn't understand. He had been told, "Don't talk to strangers." And now a stranger in a big yellow bus had his brother. So he cried. Somehow I feel a little bit like that little boy as I watch the news now. I don't know what to make of this. Everything that I've been taught, and not just taught but learned through life, is that whenever somebody threatens me that I must do something right now, almost every time that proves to be a mistake if I do it. And if they threaten me enough to make me do something I'm not sure I want to do without a 3-day chance to undo the contract, we call that extortion, and it used to be a crime. I don't know what to make of what is happening now. I mean, I'll tell you, that story of the little boy who cried wolf too many times comes to mind. Sad to say, but the President of the United States of America is like that little boy who's called wolf too many times. You know, I just don't believe anything the man says anymore. But I'm like the little boy looking at the school bus, not knowing what to do. And the other thing I've learned the hard way is that you can never solve a money problem by borrowing more money. The day will come when it will catch up with you. It's like that wolf at the door. I think if I can't sit and think about this, and if the entire world economy is going to collapse into depression, then why doesn't the rest of the world try to solve this problem? We are in a world economy, are we not? It affects the world, doesn't it? Why then does the United States have to deal with this singularly? Why don't everybody else come and help us? It confuses me. They tell me how critical it is, yet the president makes a short little speech on television, and then he goes out and plants a tree, and goes out jogging or riding a bicycle or something. And the Congress, they're going to take a couple days off, a little vacation. My God, the country's sinking here. If it's all so critical, if all these terrible things are going to happen, then why don't you do something? Why do you just all do nothing? This wolf at the door really concerns me. I don't know what to make of him. Do I look like McCain? Oh, I don't know what to make of him. He scares me. You know, I'm a senior citizen. I'm retired. I live on Social Security and some meager things that I make from a couple jobs that I do. Kind of the end of my time here, and I kind of live in the past. Well, I remember the story about the little kid in the bus, and I remember the story of the boy who called wolf too many times. But now the wolf is at the door, and he's baring his teeth. You know what I used to tell my kids when they had nightmares, like we are having as a nation right now? I used to say, Bobby, you know what you need to do with that nightmare that you're having, dear boy? You need to turn and face that nightmare, that wolf. You need to turn on the wolf, and you need to tell him, okay, wolf, whatever you're planning to do, you damn well better give it your best shot, because I'm not afraid of you at all. Because if you don't face the wolf, if you don't face your nightmares, you will continue to have them. I think it's time to face the wolf, if you will excuse me.